So let's talk about Mercury and Gemini and the law of attraction. This is really kind of a cool thing and a little bit can be a little bit challenging because Gemini is the sign of the twins. There's a certain amount of multiple thought processes that I think go on with Mercury here. I know we've got the Lord of the Manor in the house, but at the same time, we're still experiencing ourselves in the outside world, how our thoughts and our behaviors are um, um, how that lands on our schoolmates, our teammates, our workmates, our neighborhoods, our communities. It's where the soul has gone through the first house of self and the second house of skills and family history. And now it's out in the community practicing those beliefs and those skills and the things that it has learned. So here I think that to best serve the laws of attraction here are for Mercury to be most curious here, to continue the learning process, to be able to to sit in reflection long enough to see where the communal ideas, where self-acceptance or the idea of others accepting your ideas have played influence on how you have been thinking and thereby speaking. And when I'm referring to the I think and I speak here, the mercurial aspects, I'm talking about a very personal, my interior thoughts, my inner dialogue, my self-talk, and that self-talk that dominates, the driving time when I'm by myself, the time I'm in the shower, those thoughts are constantly floating in and out of our brain. And when we look at the idea of the twins, there's this feeling of going back and forth between sort of a yay and a nay. And so I feel like having the idea that you don't have to fall down on a yay or a nay, but allow the mercurial aspect of curiosity, of skill without practice on some level, and allowing yourself an opportunity to really determine if the thoughts that you are thinking are really focused towards the self of Gemini. And I want to offer it this way, because when I think of it, there's a marrying of the self. There's always a duplicity within each person. And I think it's represented most in Gemini in the sense of, I think I am, but I don't know if I am until I'm in the community and you tell me that I am what I think I am. And this is where I think it could get off the rails for those that have Mercury in Gemini, because I think there's a very much a needing to individualize myself from any siblings or other people that I may inadvertently be compared to and then inadvertently operating on when I think about if I can manifest. So if I think about how would Mercury best implement the laws of attraction in the third house, first we start off with the curiosity idea. So what does this law of attraction mean? And these are things like trying to see how your vibration is when you want to manifest a parking space or something that you find a personal belief of ease with, because manifestation is sort of on an even scale. It goes by what you believe, which is your emotional body. And oftentimes we separate the emotional and the mental body, but they really are intrinsically braided together and operate almost as one system, because what you think, you believe, and what you believe, you speak of, and what you speak of is manifest in your physical experience. So I would like to think of the lighter elements of Gemini, the curiosity, the willingness to gather information from many sources and then draw my own conclusions. And I think that's where the real inventory, when you start to go into the idea of how am I manifesting, it's looking at the I think and determining how much of that thinking process is your own assimilation of the information that's been given to you and how much has just been branded on you. And you have almost given up your power of choice because it seems as if there is no choice. There is always choice. So identifying your thought process and then starting to look at your self-talk and not judging your self-talk, but rather just trying to determine, again, if that self-talk is really serving the experience that you want to have, an evolved version of where you have been, or is it still tethering you to something that comes from your childhood? Because Gemini is going to rule your childhood in some respects, and how you processed and how you've walked through that. Now, I want to offer this: when it comes to Mercury and Gemini, we see a very persuasive quality with words here. And I feel like, here we've got the writer, the speaker, the teacher, all represented in Gemini. And I feel like this is a real opportunity to teach yourself something about how eloquently you can talk yourself out of a belief that doesn't serve you and right into a belief that does. And I think this is taking the heaviness off of it. I think this is allowing a little bit of witty repartee. I almost feel like I kind of feel like a little bit of a comedian going on here, because I feel like if I could almost in a loving way, make fun of an old thought process that doesn't work me, it sort of takes the resistance off and allows my mind to speed up and catch up to where I am today. So if I'm going to put this in an exercise for the Mercurial Gemini third house owner, position holder, I would say that there's a little bit of you that gets to sort of implement, again, a curiosity in learning. And when I say learning, I mean allowing yourself to investigate what is the law of attraction, because the law of attraction is really only as powerful as the law of allowing, which backs it right up. So in your exploration of this and then your musing on it, I think you'll find that what you end up doing is gathering a lot of information from those that are informed, those that are not informed, those that have opinions just because they have opinions on everything. And then you'll start to feel what I believe is sort of the emotional dynamic of what's being offered here, which is sort of this: nothing is right and nothing is wrong, and everything is a point of focus, and at any moment you can change your focus. And even if you can't change your thought, you can allow that thought to evolve. And it looks like this: well, I used to be unlucky in love, but that doesn't mean I'm not unlucky in love. That doesn't mean I'm not lucky in love now. That's what I would really think is the best way to start for Mercury in the third house or in Gemini, is to allow your thoughts to evolve, to allow your experiences to be points on a timeline, not something that you put in a little radio flyer wagon and drag with you from point to point. Okay, that's my thoughts on Mercury and Gemini. And I'm going to do one other thing before I stop this video. I mentioned it in one of the other ones. I can't quite remember, but I'm going to give you an exercise that I used to do. When I was trying to manifest me being me, I have an affirmation: I am a harmonious, wealthy, financially free spiritual healer and teacher. I am experiencing ease and flow in the resources of my life, which include both money and other representations of my abundance. I'm not giving you the exact affirmation because I don't really want you to copy it. I think with your Mercurial Gemini dynamic, it's important for you to identify your I am within a situation versus I am going to be. Because it's the I am that will manifest. The I am going to be is going to put it out into the future. So as you identify your own personal I am affirmation, then giving yourself permission to take it to a new creative level. I put mine on a colored piece of paper, and I wrote the affirmation 3 times as a way of sealing that colored paper and the affirmation together. So that color would always represent to me a trigger of that thought, which would then send that desire out into the universe and start the manifestation brewing, or pump up the volume. So I chose green, and I cut out circles and hearts. I did not want to cut squares because the squares felt like it might box me in. So I wanted to kind of use the concepts in feng shui of keeping the flow of energy going. So I used round corners. I think this could be a nice exercise for you as you identify your I am, and then the experience that you want to have, the abundance you want to have, the friends you want to have, the work dynamic you want to have. And take this affirmation and these little pieces of paper that you've cut into hearts and circles. That's on a blank piece. Okay, let me go back for a second. You write the affirmation on a colored piece of paper. Then you take a second or third piece of paper with no writing on it at all, and you cut out your shapes. Then you take those shapes and you season or pepper them throughout your environment. Put one in the console of your car, put one in the drawer in the kitchen, put one in your bathroom drawer, throw one on a counter, all with the intention that as you stumble upon these things, it will trigger the affirmation of what you want to experience, which will then set into motion the powers of the law of attraction. And your job will be to allow the experience to come in without setting a time limit on it or any sort of parameter. It's just for the enjoyment of the process of bringing the manifestation forth. Okay, I hope that was clear for you, for those with Mercury in Gemini or the third house. See you later.